There comes a point in time within the fighting community that the topic of monetization comes into question. So let's talk about it. Monetization, as most of you would know it, is the simple act of earning revenue from an asset, business, or in our case, in-game transactions. Now, the most common way that fighting game developers typically turn a profit is by the tried and true method of just releasing a product consumers want to buy into and possibly selling seasonal pass down the line, which include mainly additional characters, maybe a few stages, and so forth. However, recently, there has been another business model that has been creeping its way into the world of fighting games: the free-to-play business model. We have seen this with games like the newly released Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising, the gone but never forgotten Multiversus, and the highly anticipated Riot fighting game based on League of Legends, Project L. All of these games have one thing in common, and that is they are free to play in some regard. Now, a live service game is a game that some people see as a game designed with the sole purpose of keeping people playing for as long as possible in the hopes that those players will pay for microtransactions. This is usually accomplished by making the games as engaging as possible. Take games like MiHoYo's Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail. These games tend to foster engagement by making the players feel like they are losing out on something by not coming back to play the game regularly, for example daily login bonuses or a seasonal battle pass for you to complete. Now, to some people who are against the idea of live service games, to them, live service games are also often designed so that it takes a very long time to make any meaningful progress in the game, while also offering microtransactions that allow the players to speed up the progress in order to psychologically manipulate players into spending money. How this typically applies to battle royales like Fortnite or MOBAs like League of Legends can drastically change the engagement strategies. For something like Fortnite, it could be incentive to get ahead in the battle pass with the premium bundle boost, to trade money to keep your value in time, or in League of Legends case, it could be the exchange of money for in-game currency to unlock specific champions that you want much faster. To the pessimists, of course, given the situation, a live service game could be seen as the attempt by developers to psychologically trap players and keep them playing for longer hours, even if they're not enjoying the experience, while simultaneously attempting to manipulate them into spending more money to get exclusive items or keep their value in time. Moving this concept back to fighting games, let's start off with Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising as the newest released fighting game on the market that has sprung a wave of controversy. Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising has a free-to-play version, while Project L and Multiversus are live service games. Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising is of course a fighting game published by Cygames and developed by Arc System Works. Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising has a free-to-play version which has quite a few limitations in what is available as to be expected. For example, the roster available to you is the main character Gran, plus 3 rotating characters each week. You still have access to the limited portion of the story, online, and the fun game modes that the game has to offer, but just limited to who you can play. Now, say you're not really big into fighting games, right? But you tried the free-to-play version and enjoy your time with it, and you thought to yourself, hey, you know, this game is pretty cool. Maybe I should get the full game now. So you purchase the standard edition of the game, your data transfer over, and you have everything that was once limited fully unlocked to you. Everything's great, right? Wrong. You see, there's a small issue here in the form of Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising DLC practice at the moment. As you see, there's 2 main versions you can buy, the standard edition and the deluxe edition. The deluxe edition is special because it comes well with the season pass, of course. But what if you bought the standard edition of the game but wasn't sure if you wanted to commit to playing it long time? That is, until 2B gets announced, of course. Yes, if you have been living on a rock, 2B has been announced for Granblue Fantasy vs. Rises. Now, Cygames got your attention. You start asking how much is the season pass, and come to find out, it's the same price as the freaking base game. Now, most companies will have their deluxe edition value at the standard price of the game, plus value of the pass. So if you were to buy it separately, the value of the pass would just be that price. At worst, it would be like $5 extra, which is just an incentive to get the deluxe edition of the said game. But this is some next level monetization here. I don't know why this is even the case, but yet, well, here we are. Then there is Multiversus, a live service fighting game that seemingly failed due to overwhelming demands that the small studio could not keep up with from their player base. It's not gone, just gone for now until they're ready to bring it back. Anyway, being a live service free-to-play game, the game had something similar to Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising. In fact, that is, the amount of characters you had were limited. To get more characters, you either had to play the game for tons of hours, to get the in-game currency, to purchase the characters of your choice, or spend real money to exchange for premium currency to get the characters that you wanted. This is a system at play that wants to pressure you from spending your valuable time on the grind and to give up into temptation to outright just buy the characters. Of course, there were also skins for characters you could purchase as well in the form of their battle pass. And yes, battle passes have made their way into fighting games, the things that keep making you come back for more because you know you gotta have it all. Battle passes in fighting games have been seen a lot more recently and not just appearing in live service games. For example, the original Granblue Fantasy Versus had one, which has already been slated to make a reappearance with a premium edition for, you guessed it, more character costumes. And of course, Street Fighter 6 has their own, which gives you seasonal and collaborative cosmetics for your lobby avatars to use. So yeah, the monetization for fighting games is kind of all over the place, and I'm not saying if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but one thing I can say for sure is that the large price point for barrier to entry for fighting games is a big part of the reason why they are niche in the first place. I mean, seriously, who wants to pay $110 to get their ass beat and potentially never see the time of day of the full DLC roster? I mean, hell, in most fighting games that I know of outside of Multiversus, you can't even try out or test against characters you don't have in training mode. Monetization in fighting games is reaching a new experimental period right now that is at the very least going to be very interesting to see how the developers move forward. From the no bundled, high priced individual costumes of Street Fighter 6 characters to MK1's insane price seasonal fatalities when the game has so many more dire issues that needs to be addressed. Anyway, what do you all think about monetization within the fighting game genre? Do you think developers are becoming more greedier in their methods? Or do you think all monetization is okay as long as it pertains to some cosmetics? Also, how do you feel like is the best approach for developers to incorporate live servers models in the fighting game genre as we ever so approach a possible release window for Project L? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you want to hear more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Dyken, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.